My ex posted our private photos online after I broke up with him, so I gathered evidence and had him arrested at his new girlfriend's house. Some people think breaking up with them gives them the right to destroy your life out of spite. My ex-boyfriend Tyler thought he could humiliate me by posting our intimate photos online after I ended our toxic relationship. What he didn't realize was that revenge porn is a felony in our state, and that I'm not the type of person to let criminals get away with destroying my reputation. One carefully planned arrest at his new girlfriend's house taught him that some mistakes cost you everything. I'm Chloe, 25, and until 8 months ago, I was in what I thought was a loving relationship with Tyler Nash, a 28-year-old personal trainer who seemed perfect when we first met. He was charming, confident, and attentive in all the ways that made me feel special and desired. What I didn't realize was that Tyler's charm was a carefully constructed mask, hiding someone who saw relationships as power games he needed to win at any cost. For the first year of our relationship, Tyler was everything I thought I wanted. He was romantic, constantly telling me how beautiful I was and how lucky he felt to be with me. He'd surprise me with flowers, plan elaborate dates, and make me feel like the center of his universe. But slowly, the controlling behavior started creeping in. Tyler began making comments about my friends, suggesting they were jealous of our relationship and trying to cause problems between us. He'd get upset when I made plans that didn't include him, claiming I was prioritizing other people over our relationship. The possessiveness escalated gradually. Tyler wanted to know where I was at all times, who I was with, and what we were talking about. He'd show up unexpectedly at my workplace or social events, claiming he just missed me, but really checking to make sure I wasn't doing anything he disapproved of. When I tried to talk to Tyler about giving me more space, he'd flip the script and make me feel guilty for not appreciating how much he cared about me. Most guys don't love their girlfriends enough to want to spend every moment with them, he'd say. You should be grateful instead of complaining. The really concerning behavior started around month 18, when Tyler became obsessed with taking photos and videos of us together. At first, it seemed sweet. He said he wanted to capture our beautiful moments so we could remember them forever. But Tyler's photo-taking became increasingly invasive and sexual. He'd take pictures during intimate moments without asking, claiming they were just for us, and that couples who really trusted each other shouldn't have boundaries about privacy. I was uncomfortable with the intimate photos, but Tyler was persuasive about it. He'd say that refusing to let him take pictures meant I didn't trust him, or that I was being paranoid about something that was normal for couples in love. These photos are proof of how beautiful and perfect we are together, he'd say. Only couples who don't really love each other have secrets about their intimacy. Against my better judgment, I allowed Tyler to take intimate photos and videos of us together. He promised they were private, just for his own enjoyment, and that he'd never share them with anyone else. Red flag number 1. Someone who pressures you into intimate photos and makes you feel guilty for having boundaries is not someone who respects you. The breaking point in our relationship came last March when Tyler's controlling behavior became completely unbearable. He'd started tracking my location using my phone, showing up at places I'd gone without telling him, and interrogating me about conversations I'd had with male coworkers. When I caught Tyler going through my phone and reading my private messages with friends, I realized the relationship had become toxic and needed to end. I told him we were done and that I needed him to move his belongings out of my apartment immediately. Tyler's reaction was immediate and terrifying. He flew into a rage, screaming about how I was making a huge mistake and that I'd never find anyone who loved me as much as he did. He accused me of cheating, claimed I was being manipulated by my friends, and insisted that I was throwing away the best relationship I'd ever have. "You'll regret this," he said as he packed his stuff. "You have no idea what you're giving up. I could have any girl I want, and you're going to realize what you lost when you're alone and miserable." I thought Tyler's threats were just the typical bitter words of an angry ex-boyfriend. I was wrong. 2 weeks after our breakup, I started getting messages from friends, coworkers, and even family members asking if I was okay, and if there was anything they could do to help. At first, I was confused about why everyone seemed so concerned about my well-being. Then, my best friend Sarah called me, crying. "Chloe, I don't know how to tell you this," she said, "but Tyler posted intimate photos of you online. They're everywhere." My blood went cold. "What do you mean everywhere?" He created fake social media accounts and posted them on multiple platforms. He's also sharing them in group chats and forums. "People have been sending me screenshots because they're worried about you," I felt like I was going to throw up. Tyler had taken the intimate photos I'd trusted him with and weaponized them to humiliate me after our breakup. He was systematically destroying my reputation and privacy out of spite. Sarah helped me track down all the places Tyler had posted the photos. He'd created fake accounts on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit. He'd shared them in local Facebook groups, dating app forums, and even professional networking sites where my coworkers might see them. But the worst part was what Tyler had written alongside the photos. He'd created elaborate stories about me being unfaithful, manipulative, and mentally unstable. He'd posted my full name, workplace information, and contact details, encouraging people to warn others about my supposed character flaws. Tyler was essentially running a campaign to destroy my reputation using intimate photos as his primary weapon. He wanted to make sure that breaking up with him would ruin my social and professional life. I was devastated, humiliated, and terrified. The photos were spreading faster than I could report and remove them. People at work were starting to treat me differently. I was getting creepy messages from strangers who'd seen the photos online. But after the initial shock and humiliation wore off, I got angry. Really angry. Tyler thought he could destroy my life without consequences. He thought posting revenge porn was something he could get away with because he was hurt and wanted to punish me for leaving him. He was about to learn that revenge porn is a serious crime with serious consequences. I spent that entire weekend researching the laws about non-consensual, intimate image sharing. In our state, posting intimate photos of someone without their consent is a Class C felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison and $10,000 in fines. Even better, our state has strong digital harassment laws that make it a separate crime to use intimate images to intimidate, threaten, or harass someone online. Tyler wasn't just committing revenge porn. He was committing cyberstalking and harassment. I started documenting everything. I took screenshots of every post Tyler had made, every platform where the photos appeared, and every piece of identifying information he'd shared about me. I saved all the threatening and harassing messages he'd sent after our breakup. Most importantly, I gathered evidence that Tyler was the person behind all the fake accounts. He'd been sloppy about covering his digital tracks, using similar usernames, posting from his known locations, and even accidentally posting from his real social media accounts a few times. Monday morning, I filed a police report with Detective Maria Santos, who specialized in cybercrime and digital harassment cases. She was incredibly professional and understanding, explaining that revenge porn cases were becoming more common and that law enforcement was taking them very seriously. Tyler made a lot of mistakes that will make this case easy to prosecute, Detective Santos told me, after reviewing my evidence. He left clear digital footprints connecting him to the fake accounts, and the photos contain metadata that proves they originated from his devices. She explained that the investigation would take a few weeks as they gathered additional technical evidence and built a comprehensive case against Tyler. Meanwhile, I should continue documenting any new harassment and avoid any contact with him. But Tyler wasn't done escalating his revenge campaign. Over the next 3 weeks, Tyler's harassment became more sophisticated and targeted. He discovered where I worked and started calling my office, claiming to be a concerned citizen, warning them about my inappropriate behavior, and sharing links to the photos he'd posted. He created fake dating profiles using my photos and contact information, leading to me receiving dozens of unwanted calls and messages from men who thought I was looking for hookups. Most disturbingly, Tyler started showing up at places I frequented: my gym, my favorite coffee shop, the grocery store near my apartment. He'd act like the encounters were coincidental, but it was clear he was stalking me to intimidate me into dropping the criminal case. Each new incident was reported to Detective Santos and added to the growing case against Tyler. She told me that Tyler's escalating behavior was actually helping their prosecution by demonstrating a clear pattern of harassment and stalking. He's digging himself into a deeper hole with every move he makes, she said. Criminals like Tyler can't help themselves. They always escalate until they get caught. The technical investigation confirmed what I already knew. Tyler's devices contained the original photos. His internet history showed him creating fake accounts and posting the images, and his location data placed him at the scenes of his stalking incidents. Detective Santos had enough evidence to arrest Tyler for multiple felonies: revenge porn, cyber harassment, stalking, and identity theft for creating fake profiles using my information. But I wanted to make sure Tyler's arrest happened in front of the right audience. Through mutual friends, I'd learned that Tyler had started dating someone new, a 22-year-old college student named Madison, who had no idea about his criminal behavior or the revenge porn case. Tyler was presenting himself as the victim of a crazy ex-girlfriend who was making false accusations against him. Madison was completely buying Tyler's story and had even posted social media content defending him against my lies and harassment. She thought she was supporting her boyfriend against an unstable ex, not defending a criminal who was facing felony charges. I felt bad for Madison because she was being manipulated by Tyler just like I had been. But I also thought she deserved to know exactly what kind of person she was dating. Detective Santos agreed that arresting Tyler at Madison's apartment would send a clear message about the seriousness of his crimes. It would also ensure that his new girlfriend learned the truth about his criminal behavior directly from law enforcement. The arrest was scheduled for a Saturday evening when surveillance had confirmed Tyler would be at Madison's place for their weekly dinner and movie night. I wasn't present for the arrest. Victims aren't typically involved in that process. But Detective Santos called me afterward to describe what had happened. Tyler answered the door expecting a food delivery, and instead found 3 police officers with an arrest warrant. According to Detective Santos, his face went white when he realized what was happening. "Tyler Nash, you're under arrest for revenge porn, cyber harassment, stalking, and identity theft," she'd announced while Tyler's new girlfriend watched in shock from the living room. Madison immediately started asking what was going on and why Tyler was being arrested. When Detective Santos explained that Tyler had posted intimate photos of his ex-girlfriend online without consent and had been stalking her for weeks, Madison broke down crying. "He told me she was crazy and making everything up," Madison sobbed. "He said she was harassing him because she couldn't accept their breakup." "Ma'am, your boyfriend is facing multiple felony charges for a systematic campaign of revenge porn and harassment," Detective Santos replied. "The evidence against him is overwhelming." Tyler tried to deny everything, even as he was being handcuffed, claiming the photos had been posted by someone else who'd hacked his accounts. But the officers had search warrants for his devices and found additional evidence of his crimes right there in Madison's apartment. Madison kicked Tyler out that night and called me the next day to apologize for defending his behavior online. She'd had no idea about the criminal charges and felt terrible for unknowingly supporting someone who'd committed such serious crimes against me. "I'm so sorry," she said through tears. "Tyler told me you were his crazy ex who couldn't let go. I never imagined he was actually a criminal who'd posted intimate photos online. That's absolutely disgusting." I appreciated Madison's apology and explained that Tyler was skilled at manipulating people and presenting himself as the victim. She'd been fooled just like I had been initially. Madison actually became a valuable witness for the prosecution, providing testimony about Tyler's lies and manipulation tactics that helped establish his pattern of deceptive behavior. The criminal case against Tyler moved quickly once he was arrested. The evidence was overwhelming, and his public defender advised him to accept a plea deal rather than go to trial and risk much harsher penalties. Tyler pled guilty to all charges and was sentenced to 3 years in state prison, with the possibility of parole after 18 months. He was also ordered to pay $5,000 in restitution for my therapy costs and legal expenses, and to have no contact with me for 5 years after his release. But the criminal conviction was just the beginning of Tyler's consequences. The revenge porn conviction made Tyler a registered sex offender, which destroyed his career as a personal trainer. The gym where he worked fired him immediately, and he became essentially unemployable in the fitness industry. Tyler's family was horrified when they learned about his crimes. His parents, who'd always presented themselves as upstanding community members, were devastated that their son was a convicted felon and registered sex offender. The story was covered by local news outlets, who reported on Tyler's conviction as part of their coverage of revenge porn prosecutions in our state. Tyler's full name, photo, and details of his crimes were published online and remain easily findable through Google searches. Most satisfyingly, Tyler's conviction led to all the intimate photos being permanently removed from the internet. Law enforcement worked with the platforms to take down the content and prevent it from being reposted, finally ending the public humiliation Tyler had tried to inflict on me. The civil lawsuit I filed against Tyler resulted in an additional $25,000 judgment for intentional infliction of emotional distress, invasion of privacy, and defamation. Tyler will be paying me monthly restitution for years to come. Some people have suggested that I was too harsh in pursuing criminal charges against Tyler, instead of just trying to get the photos removed through civil means. They argue that Tyler was just acting out of hurt feelings and didn't deserve to have his life ruined over relationship drama. But what Tyler did wasn't relationship drama. It was a calculated criminal campaign designed to destroy my reputation, career, and personal safety. He systematically posted intimate photos across multiple platforms, shared my personal information with strangers, and stalked me for weeks while lying to his new girlfriend about what he'd done. Tyler made the choice to commit serious crimes because he couldn't handle being broken up with like an adult. He chose to try to destroy my life rather than accept that our relationship was over and move on. Every consequence Tyler faced was the direct result of his own criminal behavior. He could have accepted our breakup, deleted the intimate photos, and started dating someone new without becoming a felon and registered sex offender. Instead, he chose revenge, and revenge chose him right back. The experience taught me that some people will try to destroy you when they can't control you, but that doesn't mean you have to let them get away with it. Tyler thought I'd be too humiliated or intimidated to fight back against his crimes. He was wrong. Fighting back against Tyler's revenge porn wasn't just about getting justice for myself. It was about making sure he couldn't do the same thing to Madison or any other woman who might date him in the future. By holding Tyler accountable for his crimes, I helped protect other potential victims from his pattern of abusive and criminal behavior. Tyler is currently serving his sentence at a state correctional facility, where I hope he's learning that actions have consequences and that you can't destroy people's lives without facing serious punishment. When he's released in a few months, Tyler will be a registered sex offender with a felony record who owes me thousands of dollars in restitution. His career is destroyed, his reputation is ruined, and his family relationships are damaged beyond repair. Meanwhile, I've rebuilt my life, advanced in my career, and am in a healthy relationship with someone who respects my boundaries and would never dream of using intimate photos as weapons. The intimate photos Tyler thought would destroy me are gone forever, but the consequences of his crimes will follow him for the rest of his life. That's exactly what he deserves for trying to destroy someone who trusted him. Tyler learned that revenge porn isn't just morally wrong. It's a serious crime with serious consequences. And now every other potential perpetrator in our community knows it too. Sometimes the best way to heal from someone's cruelty is to make sure they face the full consequences of their criminal behavior. Justice served.